Everything's fine. Get comfortable. Have a sip of coffee. I like to drink it with grapefruit juice. They say that the amount of vitamin C in grapefruit juice intensifies your caffeine high. But a thing came out recently that says you're actually not getting high off of caffeine. What it's doing is it raises your heart rate, but then it just blocks the receptor that tells your body that you're tired. It just numbs it.
Really?
Yeah. So you're still the same amount of tired.
You just don't know it.
You just don't know it because you're telling your brain to shut up.
Like any good drug does.
Welcome to Previously Recorded.
Hi, Jack!
Hi, Rich.
And welcome to Previously Recorded, where we talk about the newest, greatest, hot releases. Jack, what new release are we talking about today?
Only the hottest. Bayonetta.
Bayonetta 2?
Nope. Bayonetta 2 came out a couple years ago, so that's obviously not the hot new release. We're talking about.
Oh, they made a third one.
We're talking about the original Bayonetta.
That's 7 years old.
Yeah.
That's too old to be a new release.
Uh-huh.
And it's too young to be a classic. It's in that awkward spot, Jack.
It's in that awkward spot, but Rich, it was recently released on PC.
Oh my God!
So what we have here is a game made by Platinum that was a console exclusive, but now is released on PC, and the sales are great. Right, Platinum? The sales are people love your games.
I can't wait. Another Platinum game published by Sega. Ooh. How many games like that could be out there that aren't out on PC yet?
So, Rich, what is Bayonetta?
Bayonetta is a third-person action game. It's kind of a brawler. You know this kind of game. Ninja Gaiden, God of War. You're a fun character who beats up lots of things with lots of like attack combos, XXY, YB, and the game lets you do all kinds of fun moves. You do like a spin while you shoot the guns, or you do like a breakdancing thing where your legs are flipping all over the place.
Yep.
And then you do the same 2 or 3 combos over and over again because they're really effective.
It's almost like overwhelming when you get to that first combo tutorial. Just an endless list of combos. But really, there are 2, maybe 3 that you just do over and over again.
Because there are too many. I have a PC related issue with this game.
Okay.
When the game is loading, instead of just sitting there with a screen with one still image, it actually, you can move around and perform like the button combos. Like there's a list of combos on one side of the screen. And while you're waiting for the game to load, you can practice with the combos.
Really great idea.
On PC, the game loads in like 2 seconds. Making it a complete way. It's a great idea. And I'm sure it worked great when it was on console. But on PC, the game just loads too quick.
It was incredibly frustrating because that time could have been spent learning new combos. I almost wish there was like a I'm ready button. Like, the game is loaded, but I just want to fuck around and practice combos for a little bit. And there was no real way to do that in the game. A terrible PC gamer problem.
Am I right? PC gamer problems, am I right?
Yo, dog, I feel you. Because of the massive amount of combos, I was never quite sure if I was a super badass or if I was a button masher.
The truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever button mashing, honestly. But I didn't feel like a badass either. It's actually a pretty tough game.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with those long list of combos is you're just not able to use most of them.
Right.
A lot of the enemies are pretty damn aggressive, and I wanted to play around with some of the longer combos. I wanted to do Y, B, B, hold it a second, and then B again. But I was getting my ass kicked after like the third button press.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Lots of combos. I usually didn't have time to do anything other than Y, B, Y. Or Y, B, Y.
The one thing that Bayonetta does really right in that manner is the dodge. It has a dedicated dodge button. It feels great. You can all the enemies telegraph their attacks, and if you dodge at just the right moment, you go into witch time.
And it's very satisfying once you go into witch time. Yes.
Beautiful way to reinforce that, but also a way to slow down time, focus on one enemy, and get that long combo in.
Yeah.
That being said, I had my go-to long combo. I knew it was just one, and it worked every time, and it was very powerful. And maybe that just speaks to me as a gamer, but I found a set of combos that worked really well. And there was no real incentive to explore the other combos. And this is kind of what we were talking about before with that loading screen, where if we had time just to fuck around with the loading screen, we could have explored without any consequences, and that would have been fun.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I really, really like Bayonetta. So calm the fuck down when I say this.
Oh no.
This is where I'll take Ninja Gaiden over Bayonetta. I'll take combo quality over quantity. Because Bayonetta's got, you look at that list on the side of the screen that you see for 2 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 fucking combos.
Yeah.
And none of them feel like they do things that are very different. Mm-hmm. A good combo system, your different combos work in different situations or better against different enemies. Like if you're facing something like that's slower, maybe there's like a long combo that ends with a really strong attack, but it's at the end of a long chain. That's good for that slower enemy. Or you got like a good, get a mid combo for general use. Or you got something, there's an enemy that's really easy to handle if you juggle them in the air, and that's the enemy I want to use the juggle in the air combo,
Sure.
Playing with a combo with a purpose rather than what combo do I have time to get in.
I think that's totally fair. And like we were saying, perhaps this was built into the original system because loading took so long in those games where people had more of an opportunity to play around. Mm-hmm. But because we didn't have an opportunity, and I couldn't find any way to go and just practice combos.
You're supposed to, like I said, it was originally console. You're supposed to do that during the fucking 10-minute long loading screen.
Oh, I know.
I got a feeling that's where, your replayability comes in. This is, it's a relatively short game.
Yeah.
I think I beat it in I don't know, I'll say 11 hours. I don't remember what the actual time I had played was. Mm-hmm. And every stage, they give you a ranking at the end. And obviously, my first time through here, pretty bad.
A lot of stone.
Pretty bad. A lot of stone, yeah. My first 2 were gold.
Yeah.
And then stone. Yep. And that's where your incentive to replay is. And maybe to get better with the combo. Maybe to get comfortable using stuff other than what you were desperately using your first time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then you get better at the game, then you get a better score, and that's why you replay it, because you wanna get rid of that stone trophy. I'm gonna get a platinum this time.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's what you've been waiting for. Angel attack! Ready, fire!
The pacing of the game is fucking breakneck speed. Go into the area. You get all the guys. You're in the next area. There's more guys. You're in the next area. Now there's lava coming at you. Jump over the lava. It moves so fucking fast when you're playing it. And It has this really natural momentum where you don't want to stop. It goes so fast. You're in you're in a new area so quickly that you just want to keep going, keep going, keep going. It's like a little drug. Really great pace to it.
Too late.
Bayonetta has a really strong opening. The first, I'm going to say 4 or 5 levels, or first 5 chapters, or whatever you call them,
Yeah.
are very strong, and it builds really nicely.
That's like a third of the game.
Okay, well then the first third of the game is really strong. Then we have I'm going to say pretty bad repetition problem. You end up fighting very similar enemies often. You end up retreading the exact same map over and over and over again.
You can see the assets they reused. Like, you go into that one town square area, it's neat the first time you see it, and then they find a way to use it like 3 more times. It's in heaven. Oh, okay. Now here's the same area, but it's covered with lava now.
There was a severe lack of enemy variety. We get a lot of those standard angels. We get a lot of the claw guys of different elemental shapes. You get a lot of the little winged floaty head guys.
I'm gonna have an odd complaint.
Okay.
I don't think we get enough of those standard angel guys. This game likes like tough encounters with bigger enemies. Like, you see those 2, they're pretty difficult. Those 2 claw swipey guys.
Yep.
You see them a lot.
Yeah.
You see the big dog things a lot. What I would like to see more of is like those angels from the beginning of the game. You have this system with, like I said, a ton of combos, ton of flashy moves. I want more cannon fodder. I want more cannon fodder to play around with the fun moves on.
Sure.
And there's not enough of that for me.
It plateaus to me during the second act. And hey, it was really neat fighting that giant monster with the diamond on his back a few stages ago, and now we're fighting him for the 12th time. And man, oh man, that giant boss battle with the boss with the tube for hands, that was an intense boss battle. Oh, he's back again now as like a mini boss. Oh, and he's back again as a mini boss.
Tentacles. Why did it have to be tentacles?
There's a lot of elaborate boss fights.
Yes.
And on paper, they're not bad fights. But they just have too much health.
I mean, yeah.
Once I figure out what the pattern is on a boss enemy, I shouldn't have to repeat it a dozen times. Like, do you remember that the boat angel, the big fucking boat boss fight?
When you're surfing?
When you're surfing?
Yeah.
Didn't he like dive and you gotta wait around for a minute while he's diving, and he does that like 3 dozen times?
Yep. All the boss battles were very wait for the pattern. And the other major problem with the boss fights was wait for the quick time event.
Can't touch me.
Quick time events are never fun. They're never good.
No.
It's always the illusion of you doing this cool thing.
Yeah.
But you're just hitting a button so the animation will continue. For the most part, they kept it simple enough. Most of the QuickTime events were mash X.
Like, there were 2 kinds of quick time events. There was the hair finisher where you just have to mash a button really fast.
Yeah.
That really, to me, didn't count as a quick time event. That just kind of seemed like bonus points. And that felt like in nature with the hectic gameplay. You know, like, okay, I did the combo, now I gotta do this, now I gotta do this. That was fine. My biggest problem was, I'm trying to think of a specific example. Oh, so like you're fighting Jean at the end. And it's a normal brawl, and you're just dodging, hitting, dodging, and hitting. Then all of a sudden, Jean throws a missile at you. And out of nowhere, it says you gotta press Y and B together. What?
No, finish your point.
Do I got a booger?
I'm gonna point out
Yeah.
what Jack said.
Do I got a booger?
Brawls are the best boss fights. Not large things where you're looking for the pattern. Just let me duke it out with an enemy.
Fucking always.
Jean was a great fucking fight because it was a brawl. So was Father, was it Baldur?
Father Baldur. Yeah.
Father Baldur. That was a fairly decent brawl.
Yeah.
And those are the best boss fights in the game.
Oh, those brawls were incredibly satisfying, only because you are doing the same thing you're doing with the rest of the game. You're just doing it harder now. That's the best boss fight.
Yes.
The exact same thing I've been doing all game, but this is a challenge.
In any game.
In any game.
Every boss fight should be like that.
Of course. Of course. But then you have some bullshit in all of the boss fights, even the brawls, where, you know, you're brawling with Jean, she throws a missile at you, and you have to press Y and B. And if you don't press Y and B, you blow up and you die, and you have to take the entire brawl over again until that one specific spot where you have to press Y and B together again. Bullshit QuickTime events.
QuickTime events are always bullshit.
Do I got a booger?
But when the game is working though with the dodges and the witch times and the breakdance gun spins, it is extremely fun. Just because we're pointing out negatives, I don't want people to think I'm shitting all over Bayonetta. There's a good and bad.
That's true.
To most things in life, Jack.
All right, so we'll change the subject.
There is one thing in this game that I think is complete bullshit.
Okay.
One thing I will say is complete bullshit. The Star Fox section.
You mean riding on a missile?
The Star Fox section where you're riding on a missile.
Yeah.
And you can't see what you're shooting at.
Because your missile shoots directly in front of the missile.
Yep.
And so you have to shoot at the things in front of the missile, but the missile's in front of you, so you can't really see what you're shooting?
You can't see what you're shooting. You can't always see when things are shooting at you. There is no way to invert the controls because this is not a section that needed flight simulator controls. It really isn't. This is a shoot 'em up section. Don't give me inverted controls where I was fucking nauseous for that entire 30-minute sequence of the game.
How about every time you dodge, the entire camera flips like
my God.
3 times?
Oh my God, I was looking for a way to skip that. I'm like, this has to be optional.
Yeah. And then if you die way at the end, gotta do the whole fucking thing over again.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit.
I want to call that a little bit of good old-fashioned padding. Just stretch out that runtime a little bit. I think there's a lot of things that they do for the sake of padding and for kind of artificial variety. Where they go, no, we'll change it up a little bit. We'll give you a little bit of a breather. And it's like, I don't want a breather. I want to just fight dudes.
You're there to play Bayonetta.
That's the thing. I want to shoot people with my foot guns, and I want to hit people with my sword, and that's it.
Oh, I'm okay with changing it up now and then, but not an entire 30-minute stage. That was a bit much.
Agreed. So, Bayonetta.
Yeah.
The character of Bayonetta.
It's wonderful what they do. You get her, you get everything she is about. You understand this character just from her animations. Just from the way they animate her, I understand Bayonetta.
You could show a random person on the street a clip of Bayonetta walking down a hallway, and they will know exactly what she's about.
This is a powerful, confident, sassy woman who owns her sexuality.
You go, girl.
Bayonetta.
You go, girl. More importantly, she is the character that us as gamers want to be. You're in charge. You're strong. You're confident. You take care of business.
All the men like you?
But the further down you go, the harder it is to not notice the reality of things.
Cheshire, look.
I'm looking.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like,
She doesn't need to say anything. You get it just from the animation.
and I think that the character of Bayonetta is what has made this game a classic.
Yeah.
In fact, like, her character is so strong, it even like lifts up weaker aspects of the game. Like, you're willing to look past some wonky controls. You're willing to look past some repetition. I'm willing to look past absurdly long cutscenes because I like Bayonetta as a character.
Time to go boom!
The downside to that,
Oh, Jack's gonna complain about cutscenes for 40 minutes.
the cutscenes in this game are absurdly long. Mostly because the story in which we are involved in is confoundingly convoluted and unnecessary.
Before we get too into that,
Yeah.
I will agree there are some negative aspects, but I will hold this game up as what you can do with cutscenes that you can't do if you're no, the camera and the controls never gonna leave the player. You lose 90% of your fucking comedy. I was watching some of the early cutscenes in this game, and I was just fucking hooked when she jumps through the thing, and then it's a surprise, she's gonna kick Angel, and they got the sweet camera angles going on as she's doing amazing things, and then you cut to the comic relief. You don't do that if then the camera's never gonna leave the position behind the. It's always we're gonna pretend that you're always playing the game, even though there are actually still kind of cutscenes going on. This is what a cutscene can do.
I will grant you that. The comedy, the timing that you can achieve through editing is something that is harder to do if the camera never leaves the player.
I'm gonna say this is impossible. Bayonetta is impossible to do if the camera never leaves the player. Impossible.
Possibly. I will grant you that. The issue to me is length of cutscene and amount of cutscenes.
I will grant you that.
There's just so fucking many of them.
Well, yeah. Well, this game makes the mistake of focusing too much on like exposition type stuff. We don't need to know the bad guy wants the sacred eye to be powered, so he needs the version of you when you were younger and innocent to learn this, so we can send you back in time, and then when you're in the future, you'll be empowered with the eye, and then sexy witch wants to kill angels. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
She dances around, she's a sexy witch. Angels aren't so good, they want to do a bad thing, you gotta shoot them. And at the end of the day, when you have this great character, this amazing character, that's all you need.
But would you recommend Bayonetta?
It's not very strong. It's not a super strong recommendation.
Okay.
It's yes.
I'd give it a go. I'd give it a recommendation. I'd give it a not like an enthusiastic recommendation, but I think it's worth a play just to understand why it is that people love her. And this might be hard for people to hear, but I think people love Bayonetta more than they love her game.